This is just a sandwich. This is the sandwich generation. It's not just because they're famous. Keep watching to find out if you're part of the sandwich generation too. It has to do with their age and stage of life and what causes their stress. As our generation delayed starting families to focus on our careers, we did not anticipate the logjam that would occur when our kids still need us and our aging parents do too. When I hit the logjam, little did I know it would be the most draining, difficult, emotional, expensive, and sad period I've ever experienced. You might be in the sandwich generation if you're teaching your child to drive while at the exact same time trying to take the keys away from your dad. Or if your daughter is climbing to the top of the cheerleader pyramid and you're trying to get your dad to quit climbing on ladders. It's a real thing. You might be a part of the sandwich generation if you're trying to guide your soon-to-be college student through choosing a major, and at the same time you're trying to think of things for your mom to do that would give her day purpose now that she has limited mobility. If you're excited to see all the new independence your child is growing in, taking on new responsibility, becoming a young man or woman, while at the same time, right before your very eyes, your parents are aging, changing. You might be part of this generation if you love seeing your kids interact with your parents and how special those relationships are, how they treasure each other. But there's a grip in your heart because you know that your parents' death will be the first passing and the hardest for your kids to endure, and you steel yourself for what's to come. If you find yourself spending a lot on your kids' tuition, soccer camp, cheerleading, and on your parents, taking them to their appointments, paying their co-pays, picking up pharmacy that you just don't ever get reimbursed for. And somewhere in the back of your mind is this niggling thought, when are we going to start saving for our retirement? You want to be your children's biggest encouragers, but at the end of the day, you're emotionally exhausted. This is a picture of the sandwich generation. About a quarter of all U.S. adults are part of this group. 81% of all caregivers are female. And women spend 50% more time every day taking care of the daily personal caring tasks that our families need. And that includes our extended family. Family caregivers spend approximately $7,000 a year caring for our aging loved ones. Yet no one's talking about it, which is one of the reasons I started this channel. We need to start talking about the big logjam that's ahead so that we can support each other, learn from each other, and create an environment of care. Because we've never done this as a generation. It's never happened like this before. Let's talk about our parents now. The baby boomers are a big, beautiful group of people. Between now and 2030, they will turn 65. Actually, 10,000 of them every single day will turn 65 between now and 2030. 75% of them won't have enough money to pay for assisted living without selling their homes. This out of the University of Chicago. The average rent and medical care for those in assisted living is $65,000 a year in 2024 dollars. If they need to move into nursing care, that's $80,000 a year, and it's not covered by Medicare. Of those of you who care for your own families in their aging years, 75% of you will quit your regular jobs to do so. 75%. So let's start thinking ahead to help them age well and to help our families not be crushed by the burnout that caregiving requires. The sandwich generation should begin thinking of your parents' retirement and your own retirement in the same conversation. You should have this conversation as soon as possible with your kids and your parents so that you guys can get on the same page and make a plan that's going to work for everyone. Possibly moving closer together or even moving under the same roof. As you know, it's best to approach your parents with open-ended questions, a great attitude, and make it a real discussion. Hear what they would like to have in their future. Don't make it a family agenda where you tell everybody how it's going to go. I promise you that won't go well. I'm a realtor in Oklahoma City, and I belong to the Real Brokerage, which is all across the U.S. and Canada. And if it's time for you to start moving closer to family, we're here to help make that happen. We care about multi-generational pain and the kinds of things that you're going to have to take care of to get where you need to be as a family. I'd love to hear from you. Have you started this conversation with your kids and your parents yet? If so, how did it go? How many times did it take before you really got the ball rolling? If you haven't, I'd love to hear down below. What are you scared of? What's holding you back? Let's start talking. I've got some ideas about how we can do this together without burning out. You can see those ideas